Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk news. I am El Fakador Laurie Blake, and in this episode of the much longer, much more jam-packed Pokemon Let's Go Pika news, we'll be taking a peek at some reactions to Survivor Series from WWE stars, a story of Enzo Amore getting kicked off a plane, Enzo Amore kicking off at Liv Morgan, Enzo Amore getting kicked out of Survivor Series, and Enzo Amore getting kicked off the planet. The last one was made up, but admit it, just for a second there, it made you imagine a better world. And we start with news that the poster for WrestleMania 35 has had a bit of a heel turn. Before tickets went out on sale, WWE sent out emails with this lovely smiling photo of Daniel Bryan, a moody Braun Strowman, a super smiley Ronda Rousey, a smirking AJ Styles, and a smiling Naomi to boot. But now that tickets are available to the general public, things have changed. First up, AJ is gone. He's out of there because he's not WWE champion anymore. He's just a loser with a sore willy. Naomi weirdly got to stick around though. I couldn't tell you why. Oh, she did win the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. But if you look closely, there is one other significant difference. Moody Brian, you're so cross. Apparently, kicking people in the dick day in and day out puts you in a foul mood. Is the proof. To be fair though, maybe Brian's face changed because he heard this particular bit of news. And that is that former WWE superstar James Ellsworth is alleged to have sent nude photos of himself to an underage American fan. The 16-year-old fan, who goes by Cleek Kid on Twitter, alleges that she met Ellsworth at an indie show where he asked her how old she was. Later she DM'd him on Twitter to wish him good luck at another show he was performing at. He then asked for her Snapchat, which she gave, and he then sent her nude photos and mirror selfies of himself despite knowing that she was under the age of consent in America. Cleek Kid broke the news on Twitter saying, "I got dirt on a wrestler, SK, which I'm reliably informed by Urban Dictionary means that someone is shooketh, which is very helpful for such a serious story." She then said they had a storyline with Carmella. If you're smart, it's not that hard to find out. She included edited screenshots of messages she claims are from Ellsworth alongside the aforementioned mirror selfies. She also said that multiple people in the wrestling industry had reached out to her to say that Ellsworth tries to get with fans and wrestlers 24/7, including this message from someone who claims to be a female wrestler and who has had uncomfortable experiences with Ellsworth. She also posted a video explaining her side of the alleged incident and said, "Of course, people are going to be on his side, but just know I'm not lying and would never lie about something this serious." For his part, Ellsworth has tweeted out a statement via his attorney denying the allegations. "My client, James Morris, known publicly and professionally as James Ellsworth, has become aware of a number of baseless allegations. Mr. Morris has the utmost respect for women and categorically denies these inflammatory and despicable accusations." Bates and Garcia, attorneys at law. As there's been no official investigation or legal proceedings, you got to take this whole story with a whole heap of allegedlys for now. But you have to admit, things aren't looking fantastic for Ellsworth right about now. And after the allegations came to light, he was pulled from a scheduled appearance at former Impact star Robbie E's Why It Ended live show last night, being replaced with other comedy weakling Gilbert, because it's a one-in, one-out policy. On to some more positive news now, as this weekend saw two big WWE shows take place. The near-perfect NXT TakeOver War Games 2 and the perfectly serviceable Survivor Series. Post-show, some of the main roster lot took to Twitter to air their thoughts about the show, including Charlotte Flair, who put on one hell of a bout against Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Charlotte, who properly turned heel, went to town on babyface Ronda with a kendo stick, getting DQ'd and then continuing the beatdown post-match, and got cheered for it by the fans. Guys, what are you flipping playing at? We said during the whole Becky flip-flopping between heel and face thing that we were not booing her as a heel because we wanted to naturally boo her as a face, and because Charlotte's such a good heel that we want to boo her in this scenario. And then we were like, you're not even telling the right story, you're not doing what we want. We'll boo for the people we want to boo for. And now, you're just messing with them. And the other thing is, you've accidentally made Road Dogg right. Shame on you. Well, anyway, Charlotte seemed absolutely made up with the cheers, saying on Twitter, "Boo the woo, screw you. Meanwhile, over on the better bit of WWE, the Velveteen Dream paid homage to Hulk Hogan in his match against NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa, coming out as Hollywood Dream and sticking in the old big boots and the leg drops too. And who should pop up off the old naughty step to give his 2 cents after the show but Hogan himself, who said, "Yo, Velvet, thanks for keeping the dream alive, my brother. Only love. HH." He probably says HH. Hulk Hogan. This is obviously the second Hogan-inspired outfit the Dream has worn at a takeover, and probably another potentially pointed dig at the fallen star, who was part of the panel who decided that Dream was not tough enough back in his reality show days. So, could this be an apologies of sorts from Hogan? And I was wrong about you, brother. Because I know he doesn't say he's sorry or that he was wrong, but Hogan is also famously bad at apologies. So maybe in his delusional little mind, he thinks that this is good enough. And also, don't get caught, brother, would have been very good advice for this next story, because in other delusional news, Enzo Amore is doing stuff again. He's risen like a phoenix and now he's hanging around like a bad fart. Firstly, the former WWE star and current rapper / disaster zone was recently kicked off a plane for allegedly incessantly vaping and refusing to stop. A gangster. TMZ managed to catch up with the formerly Amore and current Real One to get the skinny on what happened, to which Enzo rambled. "I believe that was a slight aberration, wasn't it? It was a slight aberration. I'll tell you what happened. A man in street clothes came up to me and he said, 'Are you vaping?' And I'm not a snitch. Somebody was vaping around me. I ain't saying who it was. So hey, listen, real quick. Guy comes to me. He's in street clothes. He stands over me like he's some sort of honcho, and then I says to the guy, 'Are you a federal air marshal?' He said specifically, 'Mind your own business.' So I said, 'I asked you a question. Are you a federal air marshal?' And he said, 'No.' So I says, 'In that case, you can go sit the down.' It turned out he was a flight attendant undercover. So they let me slide through. They got me on the next flight. I ain't mad about it. You can't be mad at it. You were vaping on a plane and it's not allowed. That's not how righteous anger works. I robbed this guy's house and a flipping popo arrested me. What are they playing at? I ain't mad at it. And despite all the allegedlys and reportedly, he probably was vaping. He did tweet, 'I want all the smoke,' after the incident as well. Also, Enzo being like, 'I ain't no snitch,' like undercover flight attendants of the flipping Stasi. Right, there's a red under your bed. It's got a tiny little packet of peanuts. Sticking with Enzo because he's been a one-man news machine this week, and there's speculation that a song from his latest album takes a few pot shots at his ex-girlfriend Liv Morgan, because that is a healthy way to deal with your feelings. Enzo, now using Enzo, spelt like Enzo, as his rap name, released the album Rosemary's Baby Part 1 Happy Birthday on YouTube, Spotify and iTunes, and the song Liv, L-I-V, a 30 for 30, seems to reference their romance from 2016 to 2017, which ended because Enzo reportedly cheated. And once again, that is not how righteous anger works, dude. I would now like to perform a reading of a choice selection of lyrics from the song. I know how the game works. I done put you on the game first. It's only a matter of time before you smashing what's-his-name at work. So much that I could say to you. You reached out to me repeatedly. I see you every week, and I ain't got shit to say to you. I don't want to give you hope. I could never just be friends. So I told you, and I quote, I mean this when I say, never speak to me again. Let that burn. He's a regular Shakespeare. And just like Dickie Shakles probably did at a bunch of his rival shows, Thomas Decker's, Ben Johnson's, Christopher Marlowe's to name a few, he turned up to a show to heckle. Yeah, Enzo snuck into Survivor Series in disguise, which I heard he learned from a flight attendant, and he'll also be receiving a letter about fringe-based gimmick infringement from our lawyers. Once inside the show, he ditched the wig and the hoodie, stood on his chair in the second row facing the hard camera to do this. Word obviously got out that the realest guy in the room was in the room, and WWE sent in the security to knock him down a peg or two, leading to this very minor fracas. There have been reports, though, that a young female fan was injured as security tried to chuck Enzo out, and a stretcher was brought to take her away. She was said to have suffered an arm injury, and medical staff tended to her quickly, giving her an ice pack for her arm before letting her return to her seat for the rest of the show. Meanwhile, as this was all going on, Brian Alvarez was watching like a hawk and updating on Twitter, saying that Enzo downstairs with WWE and building security and the LAPD at the moment, followed by Enzo out of the Staples Center and banned from returning. PW Insider also reported that Enzo was briefly taken backstage, but they were told that he had no interaction with anyone backstage at all and was only there for about 10 seconds. Enzo was in LA in the first place because he's performing a gig tonight, his first live show since becoming a rapper, and was clearly looking to drum up some buzz, which I guess he managed to some degree, especially as somebody flyed a bunch of cars in a parking lot. He even tweeted out, apparently you can't vape inside the Staples Center. Hashtag, how you doing? Better now you're gone. So he was after buzz, but I guess for all his troubles, all he probably got was yet more backstage heat with WWE, as if he needed it. Which was potentially proven by this tweet from Liv Morgan. Embarrassing. The moral of the story then, don't be a dick. Sadly, you can't teach that. So that's what happened in the crowd at Survivor Series, but what went down in the ring? If you want to find out, click the video on screen now for Ollie's review, and give us a subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest wrestling news. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.